Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and a huge shout out to you, the viewers, and the sponsor, Xiaomi. Innovation for everyone, including Imperium. All right, I got you in there this time. My goodness, what a day. Let's bring up the leaderboards. Let's just bring up the leaderboards because we are having some movers and shakers here. Imperium, 122 points for Hate Gaming.
I normally try not to standings at the group stage because it's kind of about getting into the top 16, but you have to recognize that for Romanian men and Hate Gaming, they've been trading first and second for the whole day. And what a message for Hate Gaming to send to four Romanian men. They're both on 2 chicken dinners. But remember, at the end of the last game, when I talked about Hate Gaming being a little bit more consistent, that is it. 23 points ahead of four Romanian men coming into the final game.
23 points. And to put that into perspective, that's more points than you would get from a chicken dinner. One chicken dinner, you'll get 15 points. So we could pretty much say that they're ahead of four Romanian men by a little more than a chicken dinner. And we know getting a chicken dinner is really challenging, especially with the caliber of the competition here. So, Hate Gaming, another thing to note, they are in Group C. So and I'm going to keep bringing this up because for me this is a big story because it's a big story when it comes to the fight, the race for first and second. Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, bragging rights, yeah. But Hate Gaming, Group C, they will be playing the last day, okay? And for Romanian men, they are not playing the last day. So, for that race, for that first place spot, if these two teams are trying to duke it out for Romanian men, they're going to need to keep that in mind.
They definitely will. Moving down the leaderboard, it's nice to see Entropic move up to 10th on the back of what has been a fantastic third game in Miramar for them. Shades of what I really want to see from them moving forward. And even moving onto the second half of the standings, which is pretty much, to be fair, more important. Rosovia still in 16th, but once again, that extra game hasn't really benefited them because Exotic Alliance X team, who haven't played today, they're only 1 point behind. So you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that coming into tomorrow's games, we're going to see a lot of teams, move back down to the second half of the standings, and that's worrying.
Yeah, and 1 point, that's one kill. It's just, I'm starting to get a little more invested with these teams. I'm starting to become more of a fanboy, for certain teams. And, if they don't qualify by only 1 point, that's going to be hard for me. I can only imagine the players. It's like, my goodness, we made it this far, but we couldn't move on to that next stage by only 1 point. So that's why every single game, it matters. It matters so much. It matters so much, especially when looking at these two groups. 5 more games to go, Imperium. That's it.
5 more games to go. But we do have one more game today, right? We're going to be moving into the green pastures of Orango, right? The bookmark, the map where it all began. And Dave, I can guarantee you it's going to be a damn good one.
It's going to be a good one. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Captain Mustache Dave speaking here. And this is the final map of day number 3, EU West PMCO group stages. Thank you for joining us this evening. And sit back, relax, make sure your headrests aren't too far back to annoy your passenger fellows behind you. But let's get right on into this game. The plane is going to be starting up here to the north, ending right on over military base. Thank you for flying Erangel Air.
That's what I was hoping for. What a beautiful moment. Just savor it.
You have a tear?
But anyway,
from your eye? Is there a tear? I can see a tear.
Just
a tear. A tear. I deserve an Oscar after that. Give me the Oscar. You guys have Oscars in the EU, right? No, you don't. You don't. You got biscuits and gravy. Let me get some biscuits and gravy.
What?
Do you guys celebrate the Oscars over there? I don't know.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
hey, am I right? Am I right?
I
Am I
don't know
right?
what. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Okay, I'm right. I'm right. Let's get into this game, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the map, okay, we got a squad dropping military base and Zone 1, Imperium. What stands out to you?
What stands out is that we have two teams in Roshawk, which is the side of Republic of Kosovo, which wants a city, and it it worries me
This
that they're
hurts.
not doing they're not doing their research, Dave. Right? You know, one game I can get dropping in with somebody else, maybe two games in a different area, but when you're getting caught with another team in a compound in a city 3 games in a row, it hurts and it shows their lack of research.
Let's see. No Hate, also another team. We really haven't seen too much from them here tonight. They do got those shotguns. AZ with the Scar spray down. Octavian peeking their head on in the door saying, hello, take this 12 gauge to your face. Able to connect just a couple of those pellets, but not the full thing. Laz still here with the Scar, with the pre-fire. We'll be getting 1 point. Okay, the Republic, hey, 1 point so far on the board.
Well, to be fair, they had a bit of a more confident game in Miramar, even though they dropped with another team, they disengaged away nicely. And going up against No Hate, I think No Hate presumed a little bit too much about them having control of this fight. And one went in through the doorway on his own and paid the price. And Octavian did try to follow suit, but a shotgun against Scar, I know it's close range, but the pre-fires, as you pointed out, was very beneficial for Ilaz. And I will note that Jack was very much waiting in the wings of the lower part of that hill outside the house, ready to counter knock. So Republic of Kosovo getting another knockdown.
Jack with that DP. And I believe Nissi knows exactly where Jaguar is. I mean, Jaguar, no helmet, no weapon, nada, nothing. Just a nice looking red ball cap, and that's about it right there. So Nissi popping out, taking the safe route here. Very interesting, taking the safe route to regroup with their squad mates. And Jaguar, I mean, talk about lucky shamrocks here, Imperium.
Yeah, he's definitely hoping he has the look of the Irish on his side as Jack goes for a couple of pre-fire shots by the broken wall. I will note that Republic of Kosovo, they only have 3 players in Roshawk, even though they're a full squad, because one of the players actually dropped just outside Severny. Now, I don't know if he didn't get the memo that they were dropping as a full squad in Roshawk, or that was a planned move by them. I'm wondering what the logic is behind it, because normally if you're going to drop in somewhere like Rostock, you do it as a full squad. But it's working out for this team so far, at least.
Jack spotted Octavian. I'm going to say it was planned. I'm going to take the bold guess and say it was planned. Because it hasn't been working out too well here on the drops for the Republic. So I'm going to say it's planned because this is the reason. If 3 of them were to hot drop, go for that risky play early on and get wiped out, well, guess what? They still have that solo to kind of be that insurance policy and at least have the option to possibly get some placement points. All right, so that's why I'm going to say it's planned. But checking on over here, another stalemate in Yasnaya. Okay.
Yeah, the side of Deus Legion had a fantastic start to today's game. They've fallen down a little bit across the Sanhok and Miramar game. They're still in 5th overall, so by all means, their position in the overall standings is extremely safe. Whereas Rosovia, I can't say the same thing about them. They're currently in 16th. They're going to need all the points that they can get to try and create some form of cushion against the teams around them. And right now, it's not looking too good because DTT has them pinched and gets one knocked down.
Oh, no way. That is exactly what I was worried about. I was looking at Busta. Busta was healing up, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, Busta, please, you cannot be that close. Because the Dacia was burning already, but Busta was right there. You see you. Catching the bullets from the Uzi right there.
Woohoo, man, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Sanks is going to be playing in that building on his own, but he does have the players of, Deus Legion very much surrounding him. Look at Sava on that building across the road. Definitely has more of an angle on the Sankiz. That's going to create a tiny bit of a distraction while the rest of Deus Legion pulls up the stairs. FPP mode, definitely a good choice for Sankins, but I just don't know how long he's going to survive.
3, 2, 1. Sandkiss listening in very carefully right now. Listening in. Hearing the footsteps crawl their way up the stairwell. It's only a matter of time. The pre-fire with the DPs. Scout Legion gonna be breaching the room, and just like that, done.
And fair play today, it's Legion. They didn't take it for granted, sending 3 of their players up. 1 got knocked. 2 players there to pick up that final kill. Just really strong stuff from Deus Legion, and it'll be good if they end on a high note. And if they end on a high note in this game, I don't know if you noticed it in their first 4 games, but it could be a pattern where they are strongest on Erangel. On one hand, that's not a bad thing because the most amount of games are played on Erangel, but on the other hand, you do generally want to be pretty strong across the 3 maps here in the PMCO.
You do, but looking ahead, in the future, I mean, they're in 5th place, so you have to assume if they continue on with their current, progression, they should make it to the finals. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but the finals is going to be 8 games of Erangel and then 4 Sandhawk, 4 Miramar. So think about this. Woo! If you could perform really well on 50% of the map pool, you're already looking good. I mean, that's 50%. It's 50% of the PMCO finals. So, the DP. DPs are just too damn strong. I mean, that's why we see it. It's such an influential weapon here in the meta, in competitive. If you're not rocking, if you don't at least have 2 squad mates with a DP here on Erangel, like, what are you doing? The DP is just too good.
And it's a shame because, Entropic had such a good game 3 that I was feeling so positive about them coming into this final game, and yet they've lost 2 players and they're down to 2. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but just, stopping, going into all chat, going, hey, how you doing, my friend? Because, there is one thing to know. There's a lot of friendly rivalries in the EU region, right? So I'm sure they'll be having I hope so, they'll be having a little bit of a laugh in all chat with each other.
And this is Hate Gaming. And what I see right now, already 2 kills.
Yeah.
What I see right now is, and it's not a bad thing, an overly confident team. It's not a bad thing, but they are definitely out here just running around now, just looking for some action, right? I mean, that's exactly what I see coming out from them. And for good reason. I mean, currently in first place by 23 points. So they have a lot of room to work with. And remember, first place, 16th place, tomato. It doesn't matter. As long as you are in that top 16, you will be moving on into that next round. So honestly, right now, Hate Gaming, they could take advantage of their current position and maybe practice some new strategies, Imperium.
So true. They definitely could. Phase 2 did pop up in the center quite nicely. It's in quite a common position for a lot of these teams. You have the Login Hills, you have Prison in play, you have to the west of Prison and Mansion. What I love about Master Esports, who are on our screens, is they utilize the north of the river for their rotation, so they'll be able to come in via the northwest of Yasnaya and basically end up to the west of Lipovka, so really nice rotation from them.
I mean, you said it's circle 2 for a second there. I was like, what? We're only in circle. I mean, we've been seeing some pretty solid early game action here. That's why I had to like double check. Like, what? We're only in circle 2, and that's something we tend to see a lot of times towards the end of the evening. Is teams, they're just playing a little more loose. They're feeling a little more confident in their abilities, and they're really fine tuned. They're warmed up now. So that's why we tend to see, at least from what I can tell and what I have observed in the past, the final matches of any tournament are always the best when it comes to the teams and how they play.
That's true. One thing that can sometimes be a part of it, even though it's only 4 games, but a lot of these teams could have played scrims before PMCO. They could be playing scrims after PMCO. Maybe they're a little bit tired, but when you do get to that last game, you might be a bit more tired, a little bit less focused, and a mistake or two could show up. So it is something to always consider when you're coming into that final game. Hey, slap yourself a little bit. Make sure you're at your full attention so you can do the best job for your side.
I mean, okay, yeah, for sure. You might be a little more tired, but then at the same time, you might be too tired to overthink certain situations. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So they're not overthinking things no more. They're just going with their muscle memory, and that's where we start to see them really, like I said, play loose and pop off and get involved in a lot more riskier team fights. But for the most part, I guess I'm talking from a viewer's perspective. Obviously, if you are a player, you're going to want to be on your P's and Q's, full on focus mode. But that's just my observation here.
Phase 3 centered up quite nicely, and it's a very solid Phase 3, but it could lure a few teams into a false sense of security in terms of, hey, we're good in this Phase 3. We don't have to move for Phase 4. Don't be afraid on this phase to reposition a little bit. Maybe take a bit of a fight, take a couple of pop shots to try and create a bit more space before Phase 4 does show up. Most of the teams are already inside the circle, right? To be fair, Dave. So I kind of get if you have a lot of information, you don't want to make too much noise because you could get third-partied by a couple of teams.
One of the Teletubbies getting a nice little explosion right there. I'm just checking out the overall rankings real quick. I'm trying to see what teams really need to. Ooh, chills! Oh, was Shadow in a vehicle moving though? I mean, was that no? Shadow's over there. Okay. But yeah, Gaijin, Ronin. Okay, Teletubbies, Be My Loot. Those are 3 teams this game that I kind of want to pay attention to, because they are not on the first page, right? So they need to really have a good game to end off today to allow them to have a solid chance to qualify. Because remember, after this game, these 2 groups, they only have one more day to go, right? Only one more day. So those 3 teams, if we can, Imperium, if we can kind of pay a little more attention to them. So, Rowan, Be My Loot, Teletubbies.
Let's keep an eye on what they're going to be doing towards this Phase 4 onwards. While Entropic are staying on the eastern side of this map, inside prison, it's not bad because it's on the edge of circle. If they were there when prison is in the center of the circle, I'd be like, that's a no-no, my friends. Are you asking for trouble? But because it's on the edge, it's going to be pretty good. But no, hey, Tudor is there. Surprise, Mother Trucker. You just got a player taken out.
You shot me off guard with that one, man.
Thank you, man.
Okay, I like that. I like that one. Oh, man. What a strong spot, too. What used to be a strong spot. I mean, honestly, though, they lost Octavian. This is our squad that they're kind of dead to rights against the Republic very early on here in Rozhok. So we're already at that disadvantage. Hey, Tudor, though, the double barrel shotgun. So we were talking about last game, the VSS, you get some respect points. Well, Tudor, respect points on the Dave book. And next zone does going up a little shifterino over there to the east side. We got a couple squads who need to move, need to move sooner rather than later. But looking at Rich right now in the smokes. You could tell by the way they're posturing. They want to flush this player out. They want to take him out.
Well, they have to, because they need to think about the fact that the circle is going to be enclosing in pretty soon. They're outside the circle, and down south of where they are, it's pretty open, and securing a position inside the circle from where they are right now is not going to be easy. One thing to think about is Jaguar from No Hay, who was the second player left standing for that side, has come in from behind and taken down one of the players of Dale Sleet.
Yeah, that Jaguar right there, definitely saying, surprise, hello. You know, you guys might have counted me out. Two-door, double barrel shotgun, looking right into a doorway. This is a doorway I would not want to move. But two-door letting one of these shots off, so that's going to give the enemies pushing an idea. There's a 12 gauge waiting to just blow you away. Jaguar still in the outskirts. Is going to be spotted. Two-door needs to make a move right now. Needs to make something happen.
Man, I saw what he was trying to do. He's trying to go for the bait, but unfortunately it didn't work out. And Rich and Vass were ready for it inside the corner. He's going to be hunkering down by a box. Whoa! He's going to get spotted out through the window. Vassy takes him down.
Unlucky. Vassy right there through the window, through the doorway. Was able to just spot out two-door. Two-door didn't even see him right there. Wow. I mean, that goes to show you how important it is to just know your angles and know where you might be exposed to. Wow.
Man. Oh, the side of uncalled for in the near center of the circle. Prone down, blowing up their vehicle, so it gives them a little bit more protection without losing their health. Gun to the east of them. You have the side of Seven Seas to the northwest, and then just to the west of them, it is the side of Mixed Squad.
Okay. With the mini, zoomed in, aiming right on top of their faces, able to get some nice shots off. Uncalled for, kind of collateral damage, getting pinned right between these two teams fighting over here in this field. And looking at the stats, uncalled for, not a team that favors aggression. They like to get their placement points, right? They like to place high, as they currently have 42 total placement points with 26 kills. So don't get me wrong, they're definitely popping off, but looking at the pack that they're surrounded by, they have the lowest amount of kills, so wouldn't be surprised if uncalled for just remain in the wheat fields, try to just avoid this fight, play undetected, and just continue getting those placement points in. Next zone does go on up, so at least two members from uncalled for are going to be favored in this one. Really, though, I mean, all these teams to the north, Imperium, they need to move now.
Yeah, and that's why I liked Gun's position on the previous phase, because there was a real nice spread on the eastern edge of the circle, and it's allowed them to create a little bit more control and easier basically rotation now onto the south side of this next phase, while the teams up north are going to have a little bit of a trickier job. It's a great shift for the side of B Mailut, as they're now in the near center of this phase, while Mixed Squad Dynamics on his own. The best thing he can do is just play for a little bit of a heel strap possibly, or catching out a couple of players in the blue zone.
Ooh, might even spot out an enemy out there, kind of thinking twice if they should take that shot or not. Oh, yep, they took it. There's the point right there. You got to take what you can get, especially when you are that solo member. Teletubby's going to be forced to push on out their little dip, popping on over here. The Republic, 3 kills, 2 alive right here. They are not slowing down, and that's exactly what they need. They need to acquire all the points possible, because day number 1, they didn't really do much. So they're playing that catch-up game. They're definitely playing that catch-up game here.
But 4 Romanian men are holding on to this museum building that's on the northeast eastern side of the circle. They've got 7Cs crashing in behind them around the side of the wall. One of their players was knocked down, but it has been revived up. The heal is going to come on through. That's going to be a grenade cook looking for a Mooney of Entropic. So Bazooka very much aware of potential players around them. And, 7Cs might be by the museum building, but they're definitely not in the clear.
And this is, at this point, just a classic 7 Esports move. Smoke yourself, heal on up. Teletubbies, though. Teletubbies trying to make a breach, and 4 kills so far.
Yes.
I mentioned it. Day number 1, game 4, Teletubbies, that is when they flipped that switch and they turned on. And I gotta say, that's the same thing that's happening right now. They're breaching compounds. They're right smack in the middle, still taking the fight with Be My Loot.
And to be fair, they had been kind of outside of that area for quite a while, looking in towards that compound. So they had a lot of information, and it gave them the confidence to crash in. And Chills, he's good with the sniper. He's also good with the grenade. He gets a knockdown, but push it, Teletubbies, push it. Take advantage of it. Wipe out the squad that's in front of you. You have 4 members up. At most, there's 3 players, but you've already secured a kill, but they haven't done it. They've allowed the revive to pull on through, and honestly, that could come back to bite them in the ass, even though the next phase has popped up, and they are in the circle.
Yeah, I don't think this building is in the circle. I think the broken wall is, so they're going to have to make sure. They're going to have to make sure to take out Be My Loot if they want to continue to survive. Be My Loot also dealing with some stragglers, making their way on in. That's the Republic. Jack about 2% HP. Jeezy, Teletubbies, they're still trying to get these grenades. They used at least 10 grenades at this point. I kind of agree with you. I mean, just push it already.
Push it real good. Do, 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 do. I had to, man. I had to.
There goes Jack. You did it, man. You did it. I mean, hey, I get it, though. Teletubbies, late game, they got 4 up. They don't want to risk it too much. The quick swap Reno right there, uncalled for. I don't know. Okay, a little questionable right there, but it is what it is. 5 teams to go.
5 teams to go, and Gun are doing a fantastic job on the southeastern side of the circle. Still up as a full squad, and I talked about their rotations and positions from 2 phases ago. They're carrying it through. They're being controlling, and now with just 4 teams up, it is most likely going to come down to the side of Gun and Teletubbies. But Be My Loot, they might not be inside the circle, but look at the smokes. It's giving over information, but a grenade's being chucked up.
This, and you called it a couple minutes ago. Be My Loot, Teletubbies not being aggressive on them and taking them down after having so many knocks. It might bite them in the butt here. It just might bite them in the butt. Teletubbies, they need to make sure to be aware. Shadow! Trying to get some shots in. Was taken out, but I want to say that was mainly from that third party from across the way. So Teletubbies, honestly, lucking out big time.
And Teletubbies could also help Gun by taking out the last player of Master Esports. Alvi is still safe in this circle, but the next one pops up. Depending on how it goes, they definitely could help it. Either way, 3 teams, 9 players, 4v4v1, and Gun are already throwing out a couple of smokes to prepare for this next phase. It shifts on up, and it goes just about in the favor of Teletubbies.
6 kills on to the Teletubbies. I don't know if that little corner, I don't think that's in play anymore. And that's when we start to see Gamers United reposition. Wolf in the back lines, is aware, can smell something over here. OP, tossing out some smokes, the solo player from Master Esports. Could have really played spoiler here on the side of our squad, Gamers Unite.
Well, Wolf is aware of that, and I find it a little bit worrisome that he's going in on his own and going on the heel shot. Master Alvi, call it luck, call it destiny, but he gets that knockdown. Luckily, Kraken is behind. and is able to stop Alvi from confirming that kill. I believe it was Teletubbies that stole that one away. I don't think the heal strat is going to come on through in time. He's going to go out. However, it is going to be the side of Teletubbies that have the man advantage 4v3.
Woo! Herb with the spray down in the smoke's able to connect, but the retaliation shots with the DP. Teletubbies getting Nate up. You gotta get him up. Gary pushing into the next zone. DP warfare right now, Imperium.
Oh, that was a well-needed kill for the side of Gun. But Jakob, he finds a Herb. You said the DP28 battle isn't soon, and it doesn't look like it's gonna stop.
And we see them, they're proning too. That just increases the accuracy. 3 Teletubbies and a dream right now.
Herb is knocked down. If Kraken can make his way down the hill to go for the revive, that'd be good. But all that while, Teletubbies, Chills is pushing on forward. Gonna be the frontline player. Lovely grenade being cooked up. That's gonna be a Kobe. That's gonna be a knockdown onto Chills. And that is just a little bit of time for Gun.
That makes it a 2v2, and that's a big knockout because Chills has been on the ball here in this match. Nat running across the open field, spotted though, the two not able to come out on top. They did get that second place finish. Man, yeah, Imperium, that one grenade onto Chills, I knew it had to have been the tides shifting over there towards our squad of Gamers Unite. But look at the kills. Gamers Unite, I mean, well-deserved chicken dinner here.
Yeah, they got 9 points in the Miramar game. They come into the final game, get a winner, get 14 kills, and it was, I know I said it during the game, it was all down to that position on the eastern side from, I think, phase 4, maybe phase 5, where they had a nice 2-2 spread just to the north of. And then when that circle shifted down south, yeah, were they probably looked out by the fact that most teams were on the northwest and west, 110%, but at the end of the day, they still pushed teams back in a pretty solid way at that time frame. So when they had to move away, they had way more time, way more control, and way more space. Lovely job by Gun.
Lovely job. Lovely job. And you know what? Teletubbies, you made me proud. I'm still proud of you. I am proud of you. All right, Teletubbies, give yourself a pat on the back.
For sure.
Great game from them. What a game, though. I mean, we saw a lot of pretty much action all game long. I mean, I don't think there's really ever a dull moment that game. I mean, straight from the drop, right? I mean, the Republic. Oh, dude, I just saw leaderboard.
No.
The Republic, they got taken out. Did they just get taken out in 16th this game as well? I think they did. Who was at the bottom?
But it was the side last in that game, I think, was Rosalvia and Republic of Kosovo. They finished 9th, but it's still only 1 point for 9th, as far as I know.
Okay, hey, slow and steady, right? Slow and steady. That's all you could do. I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. If you had one really rough day, it's going to be a challenge because at that point you're just playing catch up, right? You're just playing catch up. But let's see, Imperium leaderboards, man. That's what everybody wants to see. Bring up the leaderboards.
Let's go. Hate Gaming, although it wasn't the best of last games for them, was still enough to keep them on the top of the standings. The 4 Romanian men, a better game from them here in the last game. I think they got 11 points with 5 kills, so that has definitely decreased the lead to just 15 points, which is, as we know, one chicken dinner. But Gamers Unite Nations, the last game of the day, they moved themselves up to 3rd place.
Imperium, all I see right now, Teletubbies! Let's go! Teletubbies, man. They started today, I think, 2nd to last, maybe 3rd to last. That is what I want to see. I want to see teams on that second page really make that comeback and really, show us what they're made out of. I mean, that's what we're all here to watch. And here's that next page. I mean, Exotic Alliance, they'll be playing tomorrow. GSG playing tomorrow. Be My Loot, they also moved up a little bit here today.
They moved up a little bit, but I can't help but feel, without trying to, cancel people out before the tournament is over, I just can't see it being enough, because when you look at teams ahead of them that have extra 4 games like GSG Europe, Exotic Alliance X Team, the side of Panda, for example. I know they're in 12th, but my point is I just can't see Be My Loot being able to close the gap enough in the final 4 games to really make up the points needed to get into the top 16 at the end of the group stages. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I just can't see it happening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude day number 3 of the EU West PMCO group stage. A and C, those 2 groups, they have only 4 more games to. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a challenge. But you know what? That is exactly what these teams signed up for the challenge to prove not only themselves but the entirety of the world. Right? $10 USD is on the line for the total prize pool of 2021, and they're trying to get a piece of that. They are trying to live the dream, Imperium. Any final thoughts before we send off these lovely people here today, Imperium?
Yeah, it is important that the teams who played today, they look back on the VOD, they do their research, and they try not to stress about it too much. Yeah, their potential of climbing back into the top 16 is definitely on the hands of the teams that play tomorrow, but they shouldn't worry about it for now. They just need to focus on improving as a team themselves, and whatever happens after that is whatever happens.
Whatever happens, happens. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We know you love Imperium, so make sure you follow the channel. I think this guy is going to be back here very shortly with some North American action. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we will be here. Same time, same place. Don't miss it.